Back now on Try Today, and we have a returning guest with us. I'm always glad when he can take time away from his business to stop by, but that's not very often because he's like the busiest guy in the world. Lori Bates, our director. Let's meet once again our good friend Christopher Cook. He's owner of Alliance Insurance Services and just an all-around good guy. So you have to pay me for saying that.
Yeah, please, I will.
That's right. Look, summer is flood season, as we know. I don't care where you live. I mean, you just hear it on the Weather Channel or the TV or whatever. Flood season. So I've heard that people say, hey, you can't get flood insurance. Is that right?
No, that's certainly not right. Across the United States, back in the 60s, Congress enacted, not sure the exact name of the bill, but flood protection bill. So flood insurance became available across all 50 states for almost 50 years now.
Because we had a lot of disasters, Katrina and stuff like that. I'm sure it brought it to the fore, but still there's a lot of things people don't understand about it because it's so complex. And I'm wondering, are there any other myths about flood insurance that we ought to keep in mind?
Well, sure. A lot of people don't think that they're in a flood zone. Well, I don't live at the beach. I don't live by the river. Last year, in 49 of the 50 states, we had some sort of flooding. 30% of those floods were in areas that people consider low risk. It would never happen to me type of places.
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee in 2010 had a major flood, and most folks
never think about them having problems, but they did.
Yeah.
So it's not that you have to be near a big lake or a beach or whatever. You could be susceptible, and you need to check that. We won't go into all the details now, but there have to be folks that you can call at your county office and whatever and go through the records to find out if you're in a floodplain if you don't already know.
Sure, and everyone, technically what they'll tell you is everyone's in a floodplain. Some of us are in special floodplains, which mean pretty high-risk areas.
Right.
And your local insurance agent should be able to help you with that, or the county flood administration office can help you figure that out.
So somebody can call you and ask you, and you can look at it to make sure that they, okay.
Yep.
Now, our premiums, okay, now I figured out, okay, I can get this from you. But if I say, I want to buy flood insurance, Christopher, are you going to say, okay, it's like $1 million a minute or something? I mean, is it cost prohibitive or what?
If you're below sea level, the insurance cost is a little bit more. But in Forsyth County or Guilford County, our area, on average, you can insure a $100,000 house with flood insurance for $250 a year. So
really?
I don't find that cost prohibitive.
No, and let me backtrack on something we were talking about when you were using the Nashville example. Even if I'm not in a flood plain, would you recommend to most or all of your clients they go ahead and bite the bullet and get flood insurance because you never know when some unusual thing might happen?
At least have a conversation with your agent. I feel like everybody should protect that. We protect our cars, we protect our houses, but home insurance doesn't offer flood insurance. So look at the risk, look at the cost.
Doesn't come with it built in. It never comes with it built in.
Correct.
All right. Before time gets away from us, I want to change topics for just a second, and not to get too deep into this, but there's something called the Fair Automobile Bill. What is that about?
Well, for the last few years, there's been some companies that are from outside of North Carolina but do business in our state who've been pushing that we change the way we do auto insurance in North Carolina. We've done auto insurance pretty much the same way since the late 60s, early 70s. At one point in time, this was kind of nicknamed the State Farm Bill, but they want to drastically change the way rates are made in North Carolina currently.
Now, how is that going to affect everybody to make that kind of a change?
Well, if it were a consumer group pushing to change the way we do it, I would say that rates would be going down. But given that it's a company trying to do it, my inclination is to believe that rates would go up ultimately.
That's kind of sad when you and I are sitting here talking about possible reform to something that's supposed to help us, and yet because of politics and everything else, it could turn out that it goes the other way.
Certainly. I think the thing that I would love for people to understand is the biggest auto insurance writers in our state, Nationwide, Farm Bureau, National General Insurance, every insurance company that's domiciled in North Carolina is against this. State Farm is the biggest proponent. Progressive, Geico are also on board, but our local companies are against that change.
Okay. So, how do you think it's going to shake out?
We've been fighting this same battle for 3 years. I hope ultimately nothing changes. There's minor tweaks that need to be made to everything, but hopefully we'll be okay.
Well, I appreciate it. Let's go to the website on screen. Just if you have more information about things that we were talking about today, especially the flood insurance thing, go to myallianceinsurance.com. The number you can also dial is 377-9003. Christopher Cook and his staff will be glad to help you and advise you and and point you in the right direction, especially if you're not sure if you're in a floodplain, flood zone. So that can be very important to you. So check that out. Christopher, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
We'll be right back after this.